Hey guys, what's going on? It's Erik here, and I wanted to drop a little review on you guys, just because it's been a while since I've done a review. I was originally going to do a review of God of War, but I feel I'm going to save that until after I beat it on New Game Plus. Now, we're going to talk about a game that I just recently finished. It's a game that was recommended to me by a friend. It's also a game that I actually really wanted to play for a while, and that I managed to get on sale. It is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. So we're going to talk about this game. I have a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. What I felt was the best and the worst of the game, and what I believe is like the normal rating I'm going to give it. Well, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, now let's talk about the gameplay of Shadow of War. Boy, do I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this game's gameplay. So let's at least start out with the positive. I really liked the gameplay. I liked the combat. I liked the Nemesis system. I liked all the little things you could have done. I liked the RPG elements that they implemented into the game. I like it all. I felt the combat was pretty simple, but it was also really satisfying. There was a lot you could have done in the game in terms of overall combos, like the attacks you can do, like range combat, all of that. Even just like the sense of like getting beasts and orcs to work for you and all that. It was really fun. The Nemesis system and the RPG elements implemented into the game work really well for this game's combat, and it definitely adds in a sense of randomness and a bit of a more unique experience for each player. That's definitely the truth. But, and this is where I say but, it is very frustrating. Before we get to that, let me just talk about the Nemesis system. I really like the Nemesis system. The Nemesis system definitely added a variety of things that could have happened with any of the orcs. It could have made any orc my worst enemy. It could have made them my greatest ally. I really like the fact that just basically all the random shit that you would see or would expect could just immediately happen. Where in this case, I had an ally that kept dying numerous times come back over and over again to serve me. And he would always come, "You think you're done with me?" Well, no. I live to serve. It was fun. So like the randomness of the Nemesis system definitely allowed for a more unique experience for me. And so it basically made it so that anything could happen. It was definitely great. It definitely allowed a sense of fun to be had. The RPG elements definitely worked wonders. I definitely felt it wasn't as hard to gain new gear, to upgrade it, to just find a lot of stuff that would work well for me. It was honestly really fun. I definitely felt like it wasn't that hard to get new gear, as I said. I definitely felt that they at least offered a sense of benefits to me as a character. And I also really liked the character trees. Because a lot of the moves that they gave and a lot of the skills that you attain were really fun. Now let's move on to the negative portion. While the game's combat, Nemesis system, and RPG elements were really great, I was definitely frustrated most of the time for a lot of reasons. Now, I honestly felt like this game had really bad controls. This game, it felt really hard to sometimes do some of the things that I needed to do, like, parry, dodge, and all that, because there was always something stupid going on. And no matter how much I try, I always seem to have an issue where none of my parries or none of my dodges ever really stick. And one could say it's probably because of my bad skills or because of my bad controller, but it's still annoying when half of the time it's just straight up me dying due to some random person hitting me in the back, because even when I press triangle to kill him, he doesn't die or doesn't get hit, which is stupid. The Nemesis system in of itself, well, it's very good. it honestly just doesn't feel as very well developed as they would say it is. Because while a bit of randomness can happen in the thing, a lot of it is still procedurally generated. And I honestly just feel like they could have done a little bit more with the Nemesis system. Like make it like as if like you have like these certain missions, like a bit of a story you could have made with these people, you know? Like have one of these people become like your nemesis, and they ends up opening a new storyline where you have to deal with your nemesis, and you can either recruit them or you can either kill them, stuff like that. Well, technically they did that with the Bruce quest, but that doesn't necessarily count, in my opinion. What else? Fortresses, conquering fortresses, the grind, I guess you can say. It was all pretty fun. I enjoyed being able to overtake fortresses from my own doing. It was also fun to be able to send orcs in to betray their masters easily and make it easier for me to just claim the fortresses for my own. The online portion was pretty fun as well. I definitely felt it was basically enjoyable. Like it allowed you to get stuff that you would normally get in the game. And plus, it's always fun to just go after other people's worlds and just either take their orcs or just steal their fortresses. Whatever. But I think one of the things I hated the most about sort of the whole nemesis system with the orcs is that I felt like a lot of the orcs missions to level them up very repetitive. Like I felt like there was very lack of variety. They always felt the same. I always felt like the majority of the orcs had the same as dialogue, even if they had really unique personalities. So I feel like a lot of the times you sometimes lose those personalities due to the missions that you give them or that. And I kind of dislike that. But at the very least, I can say for certain that it was fun. Moving on to the story. Alright, let's talk about the story of Shadow of War. I don't know, it's just I wanna like the story, but due to its situation of being a game that takes place between two movie trilogies, the Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and since it already has an established end for a good amount of its characters, its situation is really weird. And so because of that, its story kind of falters, in my opinion. A lot of the characters, especially the supporting characters, they feel insignificant in the greater scheme of things, in terms of the overall story. Even the Gondorians or whatever they're called, they felt really insignificant. They felt important in the beginning of the story, but then after that, they kind of just fell down and they just became irrelevant. The Bruce quest, the stories of revolving Bruce, were definitely an interesting thing. I definitely liked how they handled that, but I kind of wish they could have done it more as a nemesis thing, which I felt like they didn't. The Eterio quest, Eterio as a character I really liked. She was definitely an interesting character. I definitely enjoyed her development and her story. Well, I did feel like what she ended up doing at the end of the game kind of was a bit cliche, if I'm being honest. So Calibermore and Talion, between the two of them, I like Talion the most. I felt like he developed a lot better in this game in comparison to the other ones. And I felt he, as a character, developed much better. He became more likable here than he did in the first game. Calibermore kind of was okay, but he didn't really change much between the games. I really did enjoy that they brought back Ratbag. I felt like he was a great addition to the story. Definitely the comedic relief that you kind of needed. The Karnan the Karkin missions were really good. Definitely enjoyed that story. Kind of gave you a good idea of what you were dealing with, of the overall like lore. Sheila as a character I really liked. I really felt like she was like one of the better characters of this game. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't have her in for as much time as you could, but it's whatever. I could definitely say that the story fell down flat. There's a lot of moments that I felt like could have been improved. It didn't really feel consistent in my opinion. Like you were always doing like these different missions with like these different characters, but you never really felt like it was consistent. Like, you could have done this at any given time, and you would have never known what was gonna, and you would have never known when the missions took place. So it kind of felt inconsistent. The pacing was kind of meh. I will admit they did improve upon it because I felt like at least they were longer times for the story in comparison to the first game. But yeah, and the whole thing with Sauron, Koliramor, like some of the things that they did in the game, just to match like the whole story of Lord of the Rings, kind of felt iffy. But I don't know. I feel like the story could have been improved a lot better. I felt like the characters could have been handled well, and I really wish they could have given more time to some of the to the much better characters. You know, that's how I feel. So to kind of give my last thoughts of the game, it's fun. I could definitely recommend it. It's really easy to 100% the game. Like, it doesn't really take that much time. I managed to clock in at 32 hours for the whole game, and it includes the quote-unquote grind and all that. The game was fun. The gameplay was really good, but it was also its worst enemy. I definitely got really frustrated by a lot of the things that happened during my time in the game. I will also want to say one more thing. The map, the open world felt very similar to Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, where it felt like you were only going from one base camp to another base camp, and you don't really, if it kind of feels like, I don't know, empty. Like the only thing that's in it is a bunch of orcs, which kind of doesn't make the open world feel alive or any of that. Like, take away the orcs, the Gauls, and the I don't know what else, the Cargors and all that, and it just feels empty. And that's kind of what I've felt was the issue with Metal Gear Solid 5, was that the open world was really empty. Like, the only characters you ever saw were just the enemies that you would have to recruit into your army, which is basically the same thing that happened here. And I felt like everyone in the maps was the exact same thing. It's like all terrain, felt empty, just a bunch of orcs running around. It didn't really do well for me. As I mentioned, the collectibles kind of didn't really add much to the overall story, in my opinion. But I will admit the Sheila memories were definitely added in more into Sheila as a character to make her develop, give her her motivation. But even then, it kind of felt lackluster. Yeah. But to kind of wrap this video up, it was definitely interesting to see how this game go. I definitely feel I could definitely see myself playing this again in the future. I definitely could recommend it to you people, but I honestly feel that they could have done so much more with this game, and it should have been done a lot better. It kind of does suck knowing that this game also suffered from microtransactions and loot boxes. Thankfully they got rid of that before I even started playing it, so yeah. Well, with that, I want to end the video. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I want to try to upload more videos. I want to try to upload more reviews and all that. But I will let you all know when that happens. I'll probably do an update video or something like that. But with that, I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.